Hello everyone and welcome to our live watch long show on Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzie and I'm your host for this evening. Apologies for the slight delay. Got some technical issues with my internet connection right now, but we're back and we're ready to go. So let's quickly, as the game is being played, we'll quickly have a look at the starting lineups and see who is playing today for both Tottenham and Liverpool. So we'll start with the home team, which of course is Tottenham. You've got Vicario in goal, then you have Poro, Romero, Van der Ven, and Spence to complete the back line. And you've got Bentancur and the Gray. I thought maybe Gray and Bentancur have been rested after their poor performances in the last fixture against Nottingham Forest, but it looks like they remain in the team. Bergvall comes into play in that number 10 role. Xavi Simons is playing on the left, Kudus on the right, and Kolo Muani is leading the line, which, yeah, to be fair, makes perfect sense because I feel like he's more lethal in that position in comparison to playing on the left. So it's a smart decision there from Thomas Frank. Now, in terms of Liverpool, we've got Alisson in goal, Kirkez, Van Dijk, Kanate, and Conor Bradley completing the back line. So, a welcome return for Bradley, who has just finished his one-match suspension. And you've got Curtis Jones, Gravenberch in the pivot, Forverts on the left. So Bosley makes his return after a little scare with an ankle injury last week, but he is back in the lineup. McAllister plays as a number 10, and Ekatike continues to play in his striker role ahead of Alexander Isak. So that is the lineup. Now let's have a look at the bench just so we have an idea of who is available. And automatically I can see a welcome addition to our bench, and that is Jeremy Frimpong. So he is back in the first team fold, and you've also got the likes of Isak, Chiesa, Mamadashvili, Robertson, Trenioni, Calvin, Ramsey, Ryan Gamoa, and Willie T. Lucky as well. So a decent options off the bench. So let's hope Liverpool can get the 3 points today. So let me bring up the scoreboard and let's watch the game and let's hopefully we get a good game as well as a great result. That would be the perfect balance for our Saturday today. Just got a comment here from Ozzie. Yeah, Ozzie, as always, he said must win game, Ozzie. I totally agree. This is a must win game. I think Tottenham have had the best chance so far in terms of Mateus Tell. Not Mateus Tell, sorry. Who is that? Colomwani. Decent shot there from the French striker. But yes, let me bring the scoreboard up. Ozzy in the comment says, I like this starting lineup, Ozzy. What about you? Yes. I agree because when we did the match preview, I was under the assumption that Szoboszlai may not have been available. So I added Chiesa on my right hand side. But if you look at the team, it's pretty much the team that I expected to have started. I thought Slot may have gone for a 4-4-2 to try and accommodate Alexander Isak, but I honestly don't think that was the route to go. I don't think he's been in great form, and I feel at this stage it is really about trying to gather points rather than getting someone up to speed. I feel like that can be done in training as well, not just during matches because I feel like he's not fully fit altogether. And it's not just sharpness in front of goal. I think in terms of what he produces, in terms of the runs he makes and the acres that he's covering on the pitch, it's not the standard that we expect from him. Because of course, when he was a Newcastle player, he was pressing a lot more. He was more aggressive. So yeah, I think this is a good lineup. Of course, if you were to not get a result, in hindsight, people would say, "Well, why didn't you start Isak?" But I personally think it's the right lineup based on the players we have. You've got the likes of Jones remaining in the team, and I think it's fully deserved. The only one I'm not too happy about is, and I don't mean to be rude when I say this about him, is McAllister playing that number 10 role. I just don't feel like he has the what's the word? doesn't have the tenacity to play that role. Like on form, he can be a very tenacious player, but I feel like with playing a number 10 role, you are pretty much a second striker. So you are going based off your attacking credentials. And for me, McAllister is more of an all-round midfielder, and either six or number eight, however you want to label him. So I would have preferred to have personally have played Verts in his natural position and then played Kiers on the left-hand side. Oh, for Coutinho was on through. Three on goal there. Would you have chanced any players? No. I think no. You got Ping Pong there. I would not have chanced him at all. I even said in the match preview, even if he's available, I may have not even played him or have positioned him on the bench. But knowing that we have Calvin Ramsey, maybe he would be a viable option ahead of Ping Pong because he's just come back from a 6 week layoff. Um, he's missed quite a few games, and I feel like it's one of those situations where you can't force a player, especially when they picked up a hamstring injury. Those injuries are, you have to be very careful in terms of how you manage a player. And this is a recurring injury for the player. He's picked up the same injury twice this season. So no, what have chance there with him? So both like there were early reports this week that he was fine, and I think he just needed a late fitness test. So thankfully he's all right. I don't expect him to play the full 90. So maybe we see the likes of Chiesa come on and play on the right hand side. That would be a viable option. As I've just mentioned earlier on, I would have started Isak. Isak would have only started, in my opinion, if we played with a front two, which we could do. To be fair, later in the game, if we need goals or we need a different sort of a different dimension up top. It is a viable option, which is good to have, I guess. But no, I think in terms of the team selection, I think it's fine. I probably would have gone for Chiesa ahead of McAllister and then played for inverts centrally. That would have been my only tweak. But we already know the situation in regards to Chiesa and agenda. Sorry, and Slot. They already have some sort of agenda. So yeah, God knows what it's about. But clearly there is something there. Verts, lovely ball to Conor Bradley, whips it across. Oh, hits poor Kirk with the low cross, cleared away by Romero. A free kick there to Liverpool. I think that was McAllister. Poor McAllister. I feel like I'm very harsh in terms of his assessment in games, but he goes through it. He gets clamped quite a bit. And yeah, Kudus definitely not really trying to get the ball there, so clearly a foul. Other says our bench is kind of thin though. See the youngins there. Yep. So in terms of the bench, the reason why we're relatively lucky is that is because we don't have any centre back options. It would have been Joe Gomez, but he picked up an injury last week. We could have chanced it with him and put him in the bench. Excuse me, but I think that would have been a bit of a risk considering his history. What if we needed a centre back, during the game? We wouldn't have taken that risk. And of course, you've got the likes of Gakpo, Endo, that are out of action as well. Ooh, Van Dijk with the header, straight at the keeper. Didn't really make much contact there, unfortunately. Um, so there's a reason why we've got more youngsters on the bench. It maybe any other given day, Joe Gomez would have been there. You'd have had Gakpo there. You'd have had Endo there. So the likes of Neoni, Engamo, and Lucky probably wouldn't have been in the team. And probably Ramsey as well in that mix. So yeah, I hear you in terms of it's a bit thin, but if you look at the other players, we have four senior players that could come in and change the game. So you got the likes of Robertson, Frimpong, Chiesa, and Isak. But I wouldn't go with Frimpong as a vibe option. If we needed a right back, I would actually play Calvin Ramsey. I don't think Slot will, but that's what my thinking is. And then you got Isak, Chiesa, and Robertson as your options there. So yeah, we are looking a bit thin, but we're on the 20th of December, hopefully. Liverpool are having some discussions in the back and trying to sign some players because, excuse me, it is definitely needed. So yeah, hopefully Liverpool can make that happen in the coming weeks. Comment here from Ozan, saying that, yo, Ozzy, you see AJ broke Jake Paul's jaw in two places, bro. Double mandibular fracture. I didn't even know. I saw the pictures in terms of, one part of like his teeth have literally gone inside his mouth, basically. Um, yeah, I didn't know the extent of it, but yeah, um, that knockout all was something, wasn't it? So took a bit longer than anticipated, but for me, got the job done. And look, that would have been a lesson to him that don't feel like you can just call people out and think you're going to be on top just because you've had a few decent wins against retired fighters. This is an active heavyweight in Anthony Joshua. So hopefully he's learned a lesson there. It's a hard lesson for him to learn, but it is what it is for him. But the fight was interesting because for about 4 rounds he was just running and frustrated Anthony Joshua. And you could tell because whenever they was, clutch, Anthony Joshua was literally punching his back because he was just not able to get any contact on him. And then round five, round six, that's where he got to the grips of the fight. I think Jake Paul's cardio was decreasing by that time. Afterwards he's like, "Oh, well, maybe if I had better cardio, I would have done better." But look, you ain't gonna have that kind of cardio for 8 rounds. Very, very unlikely for someone to do that. And then, but eventually he would have been caught out. But even though he was frustrated, Anthony Joshua did the right thing in terms of having that measured approach and pick his moments. And yeah, once he unleashed, because he knocked him down a few times. The funny thing was, whenever he knocked him down, he just literally grabbed onto his leg for dear life, kind of a sign to say, please, just like stop hurting me, kind of thing. But no, this is the hurt business. You have to take the pain in that regards. And yeah, for me, as expected, he's been inactive as well, Anthony Joshua, for about 15 months. So I don't think he's like, it will be fine tuned after that fight because I don't see Jake Paul being a sort of a fighter of huge caliber or anything like that. But he gets him in the ring. It increases his profile a little bit more in America. Not that it's important at this stage of his career, in my opinion. But of course, the last time he was in America, he had a very poor performance against Andy Ruiz. So he's able to make up for that, I guess. And of course, being on Netflix, increases his profile even more. The money, I'm sure the paycheck is nice. So yeah, let's see. Um, what the future holds. Hopefully, you know, being someone from the UK, we're hoping that we get that dream domestic fight in Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. Whether we will or not, I don't know. There's been so many times where it's been agreed and it's been announced, and then nothing happens. So we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully, we do. Um, Would have liked it to have happened a few years ago, but that's the boxing game, unfortunately. Don't always get the fights that we want. So yeah, it's just one of those things. Um, Ola says man's gonna take at least 6 months to recover from that. Oh yeah, yeah. He won't need to. Um, Best thing for him to do is recover. Yeah, there's no rush for him to get back into boxing again. A jaw of that kind of injury, yeah, at least 6 months. But then it's a mental thing as well. Once he's back into training or sparring, is he going to be worried about getting hit in the jaw as well? So no, it's different levels to this game. Honestly, apparently a man with AJ skill and his share weight plus technique can alleviate 500 to 700 pounds onto a punch like that. Yeah, I would not be surprised. Imagine 500 to 270 pounds coming directly to your chin. Listen, I think he really underestimated Anthony Joshua just because Anthony Joshua lost to Daniel Dubois 15 years ago. And look, Daniel Dubois is no journeyman. He's not that type. He's not, of course, he's still a young boxer, but my point is that he's not just, any sort of random boxer. He was very close to being Usyk. Of course, they fought twice. The first one, I kind of feel like he did, knock him down. But of course, it was given as a low blow. I don't think he was a low blow personally. And of course, in the second fight, Usyk showed his class. But in general, you know, Dubois, and he's always been renowned for this. He's always had power in his punches. So there's no shame in terms of losing to Dubois, who was pretty much on the up at the time. And then this wasn't a good night for AJ. I think maybe he maybe underestimated him a little bit, um, and didn't stick to the game plan because he seemed a bit out of sorts. I don't think he was composed and didn't really have sort of like an idea in terms of how to fight. I think he kind of just made it into a bit of a slugfest, so that didn't really work out for him. But no, when you're fighting those type of caliber of fighters, it's a heavyweight game. One punch can literally change the game. So I don't know why Jake Paul thought, oh, just because he had a bad defeat and that the assumption is that, oh, he's got a glass chin. I totally disagree with that. To be fair, he does not have a glass chin at all. To be honest with you, so it's just that he's been beaten by top quality fighters over the years. It happens. He's always been a fighter that has never declined fights. He's always been up for fights. He's always tried to fight the best. Because if you look at his resume, it's a lot better than most heavyweight fighters, in my opinion. So yeah, in terms of Jake Paul, I think he underestimated him, and fortunately for him, he paid the price. Of course, he would have got a huge check out of this whole event because it's under his promotions. But yeah, he's definitely paid the price for getting smashed in the draw there. But back to the game, 20 minutes in. Still nil-nil. No real chances created from what I'm seeing. Van Dijk was probably quite close to, hitting the back of the net with his header, like pretty much went straight at the keeper. And that's one thing today. We really need to test this goalkeeper. This goalkeeper's been in poor form this season. Last season, he was probably one of the breakout talents in terms of summer signings. And I'm referring to Vicario here. This season, he's been awful. He really has. So we've got to test him out, especially when he's in poor form. A few long shots here and there can definitely disrupt his confidence and can hopefully help Liverpool break the deadlock. Good ball there from Jones to Groundberg. Well, Van der Ven using his speed there to make the clearance. Ozan with the comments. Apparently, both fighters shared a $200 million purse. Jake Paul got 92, AJ got 108. Oh wow, so AJ got most of the amount. That's good, or more than the other fighter. Not bad, 92 million to get draw broken. And also, I'm sure there might be other revenue that has been generated as well. So I know it's not pay per view, but in terms of sponsorships and all that sort of stuff, there might be some added bonuses to that as well. So yeah, 108 million. Come on. And it's funny because everyone was like, oh, like, when the fight began announced, my initial reaction was, oh, come on, AJ, like, what are you doing? Like, it doesn't really make sense for you to take this fight. You're still an active fighter, but then I thought, actually, why would someone take it? I'm thinking, do you know what, at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, Jake Paul brings eyes to these sort of events. So if you're able to utilize his sort of marketing and use it to your advantage, then why not? And that fight, I know there's a lot of pressure on AJ to deliver, but at the end of the day, he was not expected to. If it was, then I would have said it was 100% scripted. But I don't think for any amount he would have allowed that sort of that sort of agreement or anything like that. So no, for me, it's an easy day in the office for him where he's got a huge pay, excuse me, a huge paycheck. And right now, he'll probably just think about getting certain fights. So if it's not Tyson Fury, maybe a fight with Deontay Wilder could be on the cards. Just something like that. I think would make the perfect sense. But let's see. Maybe he gets both of those fights next year, and then he calls it a wrap. Or if he still has ambitions to be champion again, then you've got the likes of Usyk's still around. Um, so yeah, let's see. I'm sure there'll be fights available for him. But I think the one that we all want, especially being from the UK, we want that Tyson Fury fight. That's the one that's going to grab the attention of the public and not just boxing fans. I think everyone in the country will be glued on to see that match. So yeah, hopefully they can make it happen. Oh, that's it. AJ won't get an easier fight than that for over 100 million. Wow, 100%. That was daylight robbery there. Honestly, so no, easiest paycheck he would have ever received. So yeah, I totally agree with that. Liverpool building up play from the back right now. Mate, Jones. Good idea with the through ball there over the top, but I think Verts wasn't too pleased there. Wanted to play on the floor, and I agree. Just because Ekitike was a bit deeper, he wasn't really on the shoulder there, so that was probably the perfect ball for Isak and not Ekitike. Because Isak always likes to be a bit more further up. I said both teams haven't taken the initiative. It's been so boring that we're talking about boxing. Yeah, it's been a flag. Of course, we are having conversations there, but still watching the background. It's it's not been a game where chances have been created. It's been quite neck and neck right now. But yeah, no one's really trouble the keeper right now. I pulled across. Spence, good header from Spence. Oh, that's a huge chance there for Colin Mwani. I think that's the best chance of the game so far. Should have buried it, in my opinion. Great leap there from Jed Spence to find Colin Mwani there. Gavin backpedaling, but looks like Tottenham have a bit of momentum right now. Spence will works on the ball. Van Dijk, Liverpool playing with a bit of a patient build-up right now. But I feel like the players are a bit too static. They need to move around a bit more. And that's why we're not able to string a lot of passes right now. Tottenham know exactly who to man mark. Gotta add a bit of unpredictability. Just roam around, even if it's slightly away from your natural position. Just give them something to think about right now. It's route one stuff. They know where everyone's going to be positioned, so it's not helpful right now. Oh, Van Dijk is down. Excuse me. Xavi Simons fouling his Dutch captain there. Shame on him. Joe, that looks dirty from. Oof. I'm not gonna lie, that could be a red card if they assess it. I don't know if they will, but look at that. Oh, that's. Oh, oh, that says it as well. I think it's a red. That's a definite shout for a red. He's fouled from behind. He's fouled in behind the back of his leg on his Achilles. Is it being reviewed? Yeah, it has to be reviewed. That is quite dirty because there's no sort of intent of tackling the player though, trying to get the ball. I think it could be a red. Remember Curtis Jones? Yes. I do remember, I forgot the game, but I do remember that incident. You're correct. And it's similar, but his one was a little bit different. His one was a little bit, as in Xavi Simons, his foot was a bit more higher up, close to the calf, and then down towards the ankle. So, okay, the referee's going to be asked to review on the screen. Let's see what decision is going to take place. Yeah, look at that. That is, it's a high. He actually hit his calf. Look at that. He's actually stepped on his calf. Yeah, I think that's a sending off. He has to get a red card. Let's see what the ref decides. Red card. Right decision. It was on the calf. And look, it's the right call. I know people are, oh, that's a bit soft. It's not really soft. I know the tackle wasn't made in the midst of the action. And, it was where he was trying to press on Van Dijk. But the thing is, you can't make those fouls. That was a reckless challenge from him. I don't have to cry the singer on the screen because there's a bit more of a moan in the stadium now. So Tottenham down to 10 men now. Liverpool have a free kick. Yeah, against the backs. Poor cross there from Kirkes. The crowd showing, hey, that's a foul. Yeah, it's a foul, but he didn't catch him on the calf now, did he? Just give me a second, guys. Good block there from Kirkes. Also, in the comment says, need to leave the stadium with 3 points. I agree. But you know, sometimes when you play against 10 men, I see this sound, it could be a bit more of a difficult game. But I feel like now, what Liverpool needs to do is score before half time. Because then it sets the mood for the second half. And we have to play with more energy. We've been so flat today. Yeah, this is why personally, I don't feel like Liverpool have been very enjoyable to watch this season. It's been at times, Ozan, you can probably vouch for it, it's been a bore fest. You know, there's been times where I'm literally on the verge of falling asleep during my watch-alongs. You know, that doesn't normally happen with me. But shoots! Oh, good save there by Vicario. I'm telling you guys, my client, he will score today. This is my prediction. I said that in the match preview. I think right, my client, Florian Wirtz, will score today. And almost made it 1-0 there. Good save by Vicario. 65 plus minutes with a man advantage. Yeah, we have to. We have to get the win today. 100%. That's great piece of skill there. Kitiki unable to get hold of the ball there. Come on, Wirtz, man. Yeah. Unlucky though. It was a good shot. Yeah, good little dribble there from Wirtz. Goal kick for Tottenham right now. 37 minutes played. Still 0-0. But of course, if you just tuned in, we have a player down in Tottenham who received a red card after a reckless tackle on Van Dijk, fouling him on his calf there. Oh, Colomwani, good turn of Allison. Well done, Allison. That was so neat. What was Canate doing, honestly? And the recovery speed, where was it? There was no recovery whatsoever. If it wasn't for Allison, we'd be 1-0 down. But Jim McAllister, Jones, Brownback. We've got to test the keeper with long shots. We have to do it today. Come on. Look how defensive they're playing as well. Come on, Kirkers. There's no one there. Kirkers used to oof, open his eyes. There's literally no one in the middle of the box. Why were you crossing there? Build up the play where we are in the pitch. No need for that. Handball, I think it is. Liverpool have the ball. Go on first, make that run. Yakez, try the low cross there, blocked by Kudus. And when you got Kudus tracking back and defending, you're doing well on that side of the pitch because it means he has to work hard today. He can't be uh, on the front foot. Corner kick taken. Oh, punched away by Bukayo, but Tottenham on the counter. Kudus, good pass from Kudus. Inch perfect that was, to be fair. That Poro with the cross. Oh, he fired it across to Spence. No gonna lie, that felt like a shot more than a cross. But Liverpool, lucky there. That could easily have led to a goal. Yeah, far too much power there for Jeff Spence, unfortunately, for a sports fan. I mean, for Liverpool, we got lucky there. Oh, good dummy there from Jones. Bally shoot. Jones trying to find a Katika there. That's to Jerkez. TK. Nah, ball across there. Come on now. Bergval. Grandberg intercepts. But Bergval is through on goal. Why are we playing like we've got 10 men? Since they've had a man down, they've been playing better. Personally, I think Slot should probably switch to a 4-4-2 diamond in the second half. I'm not saying he has to do it right away, but at some point bring on Isak. Because if you've got two strikers playing against you with 10 men, I feel like it causes more headaches than not. So that would be the tactical approach that I would go with. But let's see, what happens. Because right now, almost half time, and we're not getting closer to a goal right now, unfortunately. So we'll have to switch up and change things around a little bit and try and utilize the extra man that we have. With more midfielders in that kind of role, you've got more control of the game. Got to do better, but we've got to play with energy as well. You can't just be like, oh, we've got one less man. You know, we should automatically just win the game. You have to put in the work because they're going to be fighting for everything now. They're having to work harder because they're down to 10 men. But if we take the foot off the gas, then you've just matched them with less intensity. Just Spence. Oh no, that's not a foul there. Jeff Spencer's a talent. Really like him as a player. Can play left back. You know, that's not really his natural position, but he's been so good today. Is someone injured? Oh, for God's sake. Conor Bradley. Oh, come on. Come on. Let's have a look at the incident. What happened? Hit the back with leg, possibly. But then he stepped on Curtis Jones' ankle. So Curtis Jones has more of a right to be injured more than Conor Bradley. Look, if he's injured, honestly, guys, I don't even mean to be rude. We have to sign a new right back next summer. We can't go into the season just expecting, to utilize or start with Conor Bradley all the time. Talent wise, I think he's a good player. I still don't think he's first choice in my opinion. Of course, in terms of Frimpong, he still has a lot to prove. Of course, he's not had many games to do that. So let's see, how it happens for him this season. Graham Big Up Graham says must be able to beat 10 men. Oh, 100%. 100%. But we have seen games where, the opponents have really, got stuck in and made it difficult for us. I think the Newcastle game that we played earlier this season, they were down to 10 men as well. So, oh no, we were down to 10 men. So, we've shown that we can be capable of getting a result, but so can your opponent. So you really have to step up your energy levels and literally breeze past them, make them work. And if you're playing at a very slow tempo, it doesn't help, if I'm being honest with you. Bradley is playing so sluggish, man. Yeah, he is. But now it looks like he could be injured, so bit of an issue for us. Didn't want to see Pickford come on so early after his return from injury. And also in terms of Xavi Simon's position, it's easily adjustable. It feels like a centre back that was injured, then they have to, switch up a little bit more. But with it being an attacking player and a player that wasn't really doing too well today either. Yeah, in terms of the defensive structure, they can still play with low block and try and stop Liverpool from having any enjoyment in terms of in front of goal. But right now, we haven't really troubled the keeper. I feel like we should have troubled the keeper a lot more. He's a keeper in poor form. We've got 3 minutes of stoppage time. I feel like we've got a minute left. Latte. Bradley seems to be okay. Back onto the pitch. Gets his first touch. Don't know why he's getting beat. Poor guy hurt himself. Oh, unlucky with the flick there from Mkatike. Archie Gray. Poor clearance from the keeper. He's really going through, isn't he? So it'll probably be a half-time whistle now, I think. Oh, unlucky there from Jones trying to present the free ball. Van Dijk to Florian Wirtz. Can he keep in play? That's well too fair. Florian to Liverpool. quickly before the whistle's blown. What kind of throw is that from Kirkes? Jones to McAllister. McAllister shoot. Took way too long to shoot there. Fans are bemused that we're still playing, and I can't understand it because we're nearly approaching 50th minute now. But of course, maybe the red card is why we had more minutes. Now, if we get the goal, Spurs will be fuming. So let's see what happens. Support live the cross. Oh yeah, I thought that was it. Try and reverse the shot. Blocked by Bentancur. Liverpool have the ball. I think that should be it, to be fair. And that's the half-time whistle. Tottenham 0, Liverpool 0. Big talking point of the game has to be the red card into the Xavi Simons fouling Roger van Dijk from behind. For me, it was the right decision. It was a very high and reckless challenge from behind. And the Spurs fans are annoyed with that decision. But for me, if you see how that foul happened, I feel like it was the right call. So still a lot of work to do. It sounds easy that we should be demolishing them because we've got the extra man, but Liverpool have not played with real energy today. They have to work harder, in my opinion. And maybe a few attacking tweaks or additional attackers to our team may give us that more emphasis up top. So let's see what Slot does in the second half. What we'll do in the meantime, we'll take a short break. And once we return, we can talk tactics and hopefully we get a better second half and hopefully we get some goals today as well. So grab yourself a snack or a drink and I'll be back with you guys very, very shortly. Welcome back to the second half of the live watch on between Tottenham and Liverpool. And it looks like Ozwrld is watching the stream because he's done exactly what I requested before half time. And I did say that I wanted to see Isak on the pitch. And we were asked to playing a 4-4-2 formation or 4-4-2 diamond. Let's see how it looks on the pitch right now. Right now, it does look like it's a 4-4-2 diamond. Yeah. So you've got Jones in the singing pool, which is a bit weird, but I'm sure that will change very shortly. Szoboszlai being made as a makeshift right back again, unfortunately, due to Conor Bradley's injury. Should you know, it doesn't even look like a 4-4-2 down. It looks like Ekatike's on the right and Verts is on the left. But let's see. I'm sure the tactics will evolve as the game goes on. Others asked who would be your first sub. So for me, it would have been Isak, and that's literally what Slot has done. So I'm happy about that. I just want it to be where they're actually playing as strikers, not one play is playing as a winger or anything like that. So yeah, I'm pleased that Isak is the player that's come on, and I would like to bring on Chiesa at some point as well. I feel like we need to bring in as many attackers as possible. Oh, good flick there from Ekatike. Honestly, me, Ozzie, I'm really a heavy proponent of having both Ekatike and Isak play and learn how to link with each other. Yeah, I agree. But at the same time, it depends on how Slot manages them from a tactical point of view because like history will show you whenever you've had two strikers up top, you have to have 1 second, guys. Kirk cares with the low cross, cleared away by Archie Gray. You need to have the right balance and you need to find the right dynamic between the two players. So the last time when we played with both of them up top, they were literally both attacking the channels. Which for me, they're too far apart. They have to play more centrally together. That's how they're going to form a partnership. That's how they're going to bond and create a chemistry together. Uh, and then having someone like Florian Wirtz to link up the play and also provide the supply to the strikers. So I think, honestly, I think this is the way forward for this club. Whether it's a back three or back four, that's another debate, in terms of the most defensive setup of our teams. But I feel like with the profile players that we have Kirkers and Frimpong, who for me are wing backs. So let's try and play to their natural abilities. And then even in the back four, they can still play that attack minded role. It's just that you would have a number six covering the ground for them. In a 3-5-2, they'll probably have more protection from the centre backs that are playing on the sides. So either way, it balances out, to be fair. But I feel like from an attacking point of view, we should be playing with front two. And I feel like we have the players even as cover. So Isak and Ekitike would be your main two strikers. And then you've got Gakpo, who can play that role, in my opinion, very well. And then you've got Chiesa, who has a bit more of a free role. So that's what, oh, good strength there from Jess Spence. Mm. As I said, both have the football IQ to do so. I think so. It's just about doing it on the training ground. I don't know if this is something that's deployed by Slot. It's just, working behind the scenes, forming a partnership, getting a better understanding of each other's game. And then I think going forward, it could work, it could flourish um, for the foreseeable future. I want us to have the modern day Cole and York. That would be good. That would be amazing. Um, Obviously, those two were fantastic as a duo, but they were quite telepathic as well. But that may have come down to working behind in training and having that sort of freedom to express yourself as well. One would drop, like normally it'd be York that would drop deep. But I feel like he had to adapt that role because when he was at Aston Villa, I remember him being a very prolific striker. So I feel like in this scenario, Ekitike is the player that can drop deep because that is his natural game as well. He can play that way. Then you've got Isak being the gunman. So I feel like it could work. But comes down from the coach, what does he believe? Does he believe that these two guys are the way forward? I think so. And even if you have attackers like Gakpo, Chiesa, or I'm not trying to, predict the future, but let's say we do sign a player like Semenyo. Semenyo can play up top very easily in that role as well. He'd be a complete live wire. So that would be great from our point of view, where these players, like the two backup players, I guess would be players that can also play on the wings. So if you want to play a three up top, you can. You want to play two up top, you can as well. So I think it brings great squad depth for us to play with a front two or front three, and I feel like it would be a winning solution going forward. So let's see, what Stock believes and what he thinks would work for this team. How many Premier League titles did Cole and York win together? Why not us? No, I hear you, but I think York showed that he had the ability to drop deep and was really effective in that role. But I feel like there's just some players that naturally play better with a striker. And if you look at Ekatika's history, for Frankfurt, he played alongside Mamouche, and they formed a fantastic partnership. And then when Mamouche left for Man City, he was made as the long striker, and he did really well there. So that shows me that Ekitika is more than adaptable. He can play with a striker or without a striker. He could be the lone striker as well. So that's why I feel like if we have any chance of this working, is because it's down to Ekitike. So let's hope it can work, because we have to find a solution, with life after Mohamed Salah. I'm not saying Salah's going to be sold in January or whatnot, but we have to think ahead as well, in my opinion. 52 minutes played, still no attack on goal. Liverpool is a bit better, in my opinion. Jones trying to thread the through ball, unable to find Isak on the run. Bro, that's a dive from Spence. He's already on the yellow card, right? Is he? I'm not. I can't remember now. To be fair, he might be. I just realised he's wearing two different coloured boots as well. That's something Jibril Cisse would do when he was a Liverpool player. Jones, oh, I thought he would take a crack there towards goal. Didn't, unfortunately. But to Groundberg. Go for some long shots, guys. Honestly, this is too predictable. Very passive in the way we're playing. We gotta just try and be a little bit different. Ekitike gets a touch towards Verts. Corner kick for Liverpool. Maybe it's a set piece that will help us break the deadlock. However it happens, it just needs to happen very soon, in my opinion. The longer it goes on, the longer we'll feel frustrated. I would say let's play another 10 minutes, and then if we haven't got a goal, bring on Chiesa as well. We have to win. We have to take advantage of this situation where they are down to 10 men and we've got the upper hand. We have to get the 3 points today. Soboslai the cross, McAllister to Jones. Jones, the low cross. Good shot there, in my opinion. Isak. Oh, is he injured? He's holding onto his knees, in a lot of pain right now. Who is it? If it's Romero, someone's got to slap his face, honestly. Oh, Bentancur. That was studs up on his knee. Oh, that was purposely done. He knew exactly what he was doing there. You can just tell his skin's been peeled off in that area as well. Hopefully they'll rile up Isak. So some strikers play better with aggression. So hopefully he's one of those guys, and he can let the football do the talking now. Verts, go on, Verts, go on, fella. Get McAllister off, man. I've had enough of McAllister. Honestly, take him off. Bring on Chiesa. Bring on Chiesa now. It's enough. Put Verts in the central role in between Isak and Ekitike. Good play there. Oh, look, okay. Go, Verts. Verts. Inside. That's how you respond. Oh, he's hurt himself. He's injured. He already suffered a knee injury earlier on. Oh, God. He's in a lot of pain. It might have been, from the earlier challenge where, aggravated. But look at the play. Look at it. Ekitike. First time pass towards Verts. Verts with the great free ball. Verts gets an assist. I don't want to hear anything about stats now. He's got the assist now, so people got to keep quiet and stop disrespecting my client. All right? He's got the assist. Look at that finish. Beautiful finish. This is the way forward, guys. I've been saying it for months. Play these two up top. Now, just hope and pray that he's okay and he's not picked up an injury. As Ozan's just commented saying that, oh damn, he's injured while shooting. Yeah, I don't think it was while shooting. It was just the landing afterwards. It might have been where he tweaked it on his sort of standing foot. I'm not too sure. But I think the challenge from earlier on might have aggravated because it was just above the knee as well. So he was already in a lot of pain. So I'm just hoping it's nothing too serious. He's only played for about 10 or so minutes and he's already gone through it. He looks like he's in a lot of pain, poor guy. Spurs are making a change. They brought on Brennan Johnson for Kudus. Brennan Johnson never gets the respect from his fellow fans, I think. I actually don't think he's a bad player. He might not be the. Look at that. Great play. Great play, guy. This is beautiful football. This is the best piece of football we've done all game today. And this is what you want to see on a regular basis. Oh, okay, okay. That's that must hurt because he's trapped his leg with that challenge. No, I think he's out, unfortunately, guys. Stop begging it, Berg, I know he's your Swedish teammate, but stop begging it. Don't tell the guy to rush on. He clearly can't walk, you prick. Honestly. So Frimpong's coming on. What's his problem? Chiesa, just put on Chiesa up top, man. What's going on? So I'm trying to think. Are we reverting back to the 4-2-3-1? It looks like we could be. So was that back in midfield and then unless he plays Frimpong on the right wing and leaves Sabozda at right back, which wouldn't make sense to be fair, but it's just honest, like he could do it like that. So Frimpong's on now. So Frimpong looks like he's playing right wing. So we'll revert back to our 4-2-3-1. So that slight tweak brought us to goal. Of course, our slot with his agendas. Didn't want to bring on Chiesa. I would have brought on Chiesa to replace Isak and then play Chiesa and Ekitike up top. Honestly, I'm getting a bit fed up with this whole Chiesa situation. It sounds like I'm so biased, and it's just not me. I know a lot of us fans are feeling that frustration for him, but I feel for him because what does he need to do to get into this team? What does he need to do? So the best thing to do, look, if the player doesn't get the ratings from the manager, let him go. Let him leave. Let him play somewhere where he'll be valued. And look, we can go on and sign a player like Semenyo that takes his place in the squad. That way, the coach actually has faith in the player that is, part of his setup, and someone's not disrespected because it's like he's always finding other solutions for avoiding kids again any game time. It's just ridiculous now. Good play there, Jones protected the ball fantastically there from Romero. Ground back. Ozzie, but what a perfect weighted ball by a client for the sister. I know this is something he does bread and butter. It's light work for him. It's just that people have been a bit impatient in terms of his impact. So for me, it was bound to happen. I said it that he'll have an impact in the game. I'm expecting him to score as well. I think he'll get a goal today. Frimpong, his first touch of the game. No, you can tell he's out of form. He's just come back from injury, so yeah, overplayed it there. Graham says, why Frimpong? Why not Chiesa? I have to agree with you, Graham. I would have brought on Chiesa and leave the setup as it was because we only played the 4-4-2 sort of setup for 10 minutes, and then look at how it worked out. We got a goal in the end. So um, I feel like that's the setup for us. Um, but yeah, he's gone for a right back option. But Slot has said, sorry, I was gonna say that the defensive sub by Slot. 1 second, guys. Colin Moani. Poor shot there. Don't know what happened there. I thought the poor shot ended up hitting the crossbar there. Spence straight at the keeper there. But yeah, in terms of it, it's not a defensive substitution for me, Ozan, because he's playing right wing. So Szoboszlai is at right back right now. So it's not a defensive formation. It's just us utilizing his pace in the attacking third, which is why he's on the ball right now. So yeah, it's not a defensive sub for me. It's more of using his pace to our advantage against a low block and against a team that have 10 men. So it's more of an attacking sub if you look at it that way. But I personally would have preferred it to be Chiesa and then left it at a two-man attack, in my opinion. Kirkes, log plus. Oh, pass it unable to respond there. Good interception there from Frimpong. 11 against 10, you don't go defensive. Yeah, boring. I agree, we don't go defensive, but I don't see that as a defensive substitution. I kind of see the opposite. I think it's more of an attacking option, having a player of his speed further up than his normal position, I guess. But I'll still like to see Chiesa come on at some point. Maybe to replace McAllister. Because McAllister's been very ineffective today. Try and bring him in the next 5 minutes, in my opinion, so he can play at least 20 minutes or so. But no, Slot is going to play for about 5-10 minutes altogether. That's what I'm saying. We might as well just sell Chiesa. Yeah, keep him out of his misery. Ekitike! It's not a defensive substitution, guys. It's an attacking substitution. He just provided the assist. Love that celebration. I'm doing that myself right now, naturally. But Ekitike is on the same vibe as me. Light work for my striker. Great cross there from Frimpong. And this is something that we discussed in the summer. When Salah's not around, what do we do on the right wing? Who do we utilize? And this is the player we could utilize. Look at that header. Good cross, slight deflection in the cross, but it doesn't really matter. Ekitike did everything right there. Looping ball in the box. You just got to climb above the defender and loop it into the goal yourself. What a finish. Other than saying, let's go. Hugo sign of the season. Yep, he is. From a Liverpool point of view, without a shadow of a doubt, he is. Premier League, strong debate there, to be fair. Strong debate. Now, I can't think anyone else who's had a stronger impact as a summer signing as Ekitike. So, yeah, I'll have to go alongside that as well. What a finish there from Hugo. Excuse me. Tottenham throw in the final third. Cleared away by Van Dijk. Just Spence. Too much on that ball there. Goal kicks to the Reds. As I'm saying, have to see out this game. Do not let them get any confidence whatsoever. I agree. In fact, I would go one step further and on another attacker. Yes, Chiesa is the attacker. That's the one I'm referring to. Um, you got sometimes the best way of defending is actually by attacking. So for me, that's what we need to do. They're actually bringing on Palhinha now, so they're trying to stop from further goals being leaked. So we got to go all guns blazing. Bring on another attacker and try and make it 3-0, 4-0, whatever needs to be done. Get that third goal, and I feel like the game's a wrap, in my opinion. Then we just manage the game. 2-0, as you know, guys, is a bit of a nervy scoreline, and we saw it against Leeds United. Of course, we became quite complacent. So if you have a different approach, it's a different outcome. But you know, due to our track record this season, we can't take anything for granted. So we have to be proactive. And I feel like we should bring on another attacker in Chiesa to replace McAllister for me. Because right now we're pretty much playing a 4-4-2 formation. So why not play McAllister. Sorry, Chiesa instead of McAllister up top. You say McAllister up top sounds ridiculous, but that's where we are right now. Verts, Jones, free kick. He was fouled there, to be fair, but Spurs are making a couple changes. They're bringing on Odobert as well as Polina. So Polina replacing Bergvall, I think it is. So they'll have a bit more of a compact midfield now. And Archie Gray is also being replaced for Odobert. Coming here from Ozzie. Are you slowly being converted to slot in? No, I'm not. I mean, honestly, you guys, I don't want to sound like a bit of a downer, but I don't enjoy watching Liverpool as much as I used to. Maybe we've been spotted with the years in terms of how Jurgen Klopp played the game, or coached the team to play the game. But this season, I'm just talking about this season in particular. It's not been enjoyable, and even in our last recent 5, 6 games, we've been winning games to an extent. Of course, we've had a few draws as well, but it's not football that excites me or gets me off my seat. So because of that, I feel like we need a different coach with a different idea, different vision that can really galvanize this team, in my opinion. Um, so no, I'm not slotting. Of course, I'm very happy that Liverpool are winning. Um, if this scoreline remains, then my prediction is correct. I did predict a 2-0 in my match preview. Um, 'Cause I didn't feel like Tottenham would trouble us, to be fair. They're in such poor form. We just had to turn out. Of course, it helped that we had, an extra man, or we have an extra man because the game's still currently going. But I feel like, Liverpool definitely have the players to cause trouble right now. Maybe we can make it 3-0 through Jones. Jones on the ball right now to Ekitike. I mean, to Verts. Ekitike up against Van der Ven right now, or in between Van der Ven and Spence. Szoboszlai. Nice thing pass with Ping Pong. Ping Pong to Gunberg. McAllister. Oh, Vets. Should have passed it to Ekitike, I think, but he was offside. So Vets, that was your client's chance to come to score. He was offside. Um, so it would have counted. So we'll let him off. We'll let him off in that regards. Great header from Ekitike. I know it doesn't look like amazing header because there was no power in the header, but it's because the ball didn't have a lot of power. So you just have to guide it towards the goal. And that's exactly what he did. Posting in. Should be no complaints from the centre back. Needs to be strong in that moment. Great finish there from Ekitike. I don't know if you guys have watched the interview that he did on the Liverpool channel on in YouTube. Really good insight into how he is in terms of his thinking, his personality. Nice little sort of behind the scenes in terms of how the player is and what makes him tick as well. So seems like a cool guy as well at the same time. So it's good to see that kind of figure amongst the ranks at Liverpool Football Club. Ping pong gathers the ball. 75 minutes played. 2-0 to the Reds. Ah, Kirk has come on, focus. Van der Ven on the ball. Where's Chiesa? Come on now, bring him on. I mean, so unimpressed with McAllister, honestly. Canate's looks a bit shaky today as well. Colomwani has got the best out of him a few times today. Fewer home points. And Spurs top of that table. Wow. Seems like home is not really the forte right now, isn't it, in terms of gathering points? Still want us to get a third goal. I was a question. Honest question, Ozzy. Has this squad turned the ship around? And your second part is, are we going to challenge in the second half of the season? Um, I'm not fully convinced that we have completely turned it around. What I will say, and I don't want to sound like I'm on the fence, what I will say is that we are progressing as a team. I don't feel like we're playing great football, which is what is not giving me that sort of that feeling that we're going to go for it this year. Um, it might just be sort of that damage in my mind where we've been so poor, we've had so many defeats that it's like, unfortunately, anything can happen with this team. You know, we can fold any time and go back to losing ways. And unfortunately, that's not a nice thing to say, but I've got PTSD from that now because of the poor games, poor results we've had this season. Um, so I think the next few weeks will determine where we are, in my opinion. Um, but I do believe that we are in the right direction. We are making progress. As a team, I don't feel like we're quite there yet to play with real sort of attacking instincts or we're playing, you know, beautiful football. We're nowhere near that right now. Um, and you have to compare to the current leaders. Are we playing, you know, football like Arsenal are? Arsenal haven't played exquisite football this year. They've been playing good football. Um, good control there from Frimpong. Kaiser helps him out on the right hand side. Szoboszlai in the cross. Oh, Kerkez. Verts. Take a TK. Canate to Frimpong. Everyone get in the box. Oh, offside? Was he offside? Oh, didn't look like he was. Um, so I think we can challenge second half of the season, but I can't say it with chest. You know, when I say things with chest, I'm saying it with real confidence. I feel like the results we've had in recent weeks, you know, on paper it looks good, but I don't think we have improved drastically as a team. We're still vulnerable. We're still playing at a very low level in terms of our intensity in our overall play. So for me, I'm not quite convinced. We're getting the results, which of course helps, but the performances need to improve as well, in my opinion. So I think we'll challenge, but I don't know to what extent. If we were playing really good football and I was like, you know what, everyone's playing on song, then I would feel like I can really say with chest that we're coming for that title again, or we're coming for a back-to-back title. So right now, I would say we could challenge. I would say that, but do we have enough to get past an Arsenal team that have been very consistent this year? Not quite so sure in regards to that. But what can help is us making a couple additions in January. A centre back is a must. Um, a winger would be ideal as well. I think more so now, because I don't think Chiesa has a future at the club, unfortunately. Look, he's not even got 10 minutes left and he still hasn't been brought onto the pitch. So he's just getting mugged off quite clearly. And if someone's getting mugged off, I don't want them to be disrespected at my club, especially if they are a good player. So if Semenyo comes in, maybe it's at the cost of Chiesa leaving. And with the World Cup coming up in 6 months' time, and he's very highly sought after in terms of, the Italians wanting him to be in the squad. Gattuso has expressed his opinions about the player numerous times. He's pretty much still a huge asset for them. So even if it's a non-move, he needs to go, in my opinion, in order to increase his chance of being selected in the squad. Oh, piss off. How are you going to let this idiot score? Come on. How did they let this little rat score go? Poor clearance there from Van Dijk. Come on, Van Dijk. Oh, he completely missed it. And what's Kanate doing there? Why was he stuck to the ground and making a block there? Got to be a bit more responsive than that. Oh, that's pissed me off now. That's not answer to your question, Ozan. No, I don't have chest that we're going to compete. I think we will be close enough to the top, but I don't think we can challenge with real conviction, in my opinion. We have to improve. Look, we keep making these stupid errors as a team. Something's being reviewed, so let's see what happens with this goal. But it's just so annoying, honestly. Van Dijk has to clear that. Yeah, he has to clear it, in my opinion. What are they reviewing right now? The goal stands, but they were just looking at what happened afterwards. What did he do to Ekitike? They're not showing us the replay, so I want to see what happened. So what that picking up a yellow, so they've just confirmed that he'll miss the next game due to suspension. Ozan presenting the next four fixtures. Wolves at Anfield, yes, I'm expecting that to be a win. Leeds, yeah, I'm expecting that. Fulham, always tricky for me. That could easily be a draw in my opinion. And Arsenal, never easy. So you're expecting us to get points in these fixtures, but Liverpool have just not been good enough for me this season. They've not been consistent enough. Just because we've had a good run of games in the last 5 or 6 fixtures, it's not enough for me to say we're gonna go for the title. So yeah, let's see what happened afterwards. I'm not too sure because the camera wasn't pointing towards them, unfortunately. Oh, come on! So he didn't get. So nothing happened to him. Oh my god! Why did he not get a red card for that? Nah, someone needs to f him up. Honestly, can't get away with stuff like that. And look, look at us. We're folding right now. We can't. We don't know how to manage 2-0s. We really don't. Leeds United fixture showed us that. But he heads the ball. Poor play from Jones, to be fair. That was close. How are we letting this pigeon just get away with things? Honestly, this is why I feel like sometimes at Liverpool we need someone that plays dirty. Honestly, and that's what I want my number 6 to be. Someone that will just be disruptive in those kind of moments. So frustrating to watch. He's just elbowed his face. What's going on, referee? This guy's such a dirty player. Look, he's bleeding. He's elbowed him in the mouth. What's wrong with this flipping referee? This referee, flipping idiot. He is elbowed. Are you lot stupid or something? This guy's coming, bullied, strangling people, elbowing people. Nah, come on. Someone's got to put one on him. Honestly. Why you bring on Chiesa for 2, 3 minutes, you flipping idiot? This is why I don't rate this coach. What's he going to do for 2, 3 minutes? Oh, they're taking a Frimpong. I'm not gonna lie, I'd lose my head as well. I would lose my head. If I get elbowed in the mouth and ref doesn't even see that I'm bleeding or whatnot, and it continues to play on. Fuck off, referee, prick. Fucking idiot. I was going of a bit of a listen. You ain't gonna be smashed in the mouth. You won't know, innit? You know what I mean? That guy never really got into those kind of challenges. He always tried to get away from those kind of one-on-one duels. There. Speaking as a right back, he should know better. But clearly doesn't. Now you've got 9 minutes of stoppage time as well. Flipping hell. Allison punches it. Go on, Kitike. Ah, well, I'm saying squeaky bum time. It is, but I'm not gonna lie. That Richarlison, I normally don't say this about players. I generally hate that guy with a real passion. But when you don't hear me swear on my shows, but whenever he's on the pitch, I swear, you know I'm pissed off. And he's just trying to not as well. He's trying to some people to get a fucking red card. So Romero's got a red card. I don't want Richarlison needs to get a red card. Richarlison's getting away with murder, honestly. Oh, he's kicked him on the arm. That's a clear red there. No, it's a second yellow anyway. Who do you think he is? You try to lash out, kick at someone, you're trying to complain. Idiot. Other thing, Van Dijk calming down Romero. How's it possible? I don't know why Van Dijk does that. I think he just tries to be the peacemaker, but in this moment, why be the peacemaker when you're dealing with dickheads like that? So no, I don't agree with that. And look, they've got a free kick, and Poro can smash it from these kind of distances as well. So if they get the goal, what have we just done then? Decent ball there from Allison, but in between both the attackers, unfortunately. I need someone. I know, I shouldn't really encourage people from being violent, but I need to clamp on some of these players now. Honestly, Van der Ven running sideways there. Tailed away by Van Dijk. Or over the cross. Good save there. Oh, well done to Kirkus for that block. So we've got a few minutes left. Vicario hitting the ball long. Odobert against Ozwrld. Good cross, to be fair. Good header from Van Dijk. The Katika, lovely flick there from to Jones. Go on, Verts. Verts, what are you slowing down for? Oh, good back heel. Come on, Jones. You got to do better than that. You're doing so well. No, no, continue play. So you stop in those kind of moments when someone gets a bloody face, you don't have a look at that. Absolute idiot, this referee. Spence. Verts looks like he's struggling. Holding on the back of his leg. Probably got a bit of cramp, to be fair. Towards lie. Throw into Liverpool. Should be another minute remaining. Robbo is coming on. And Nicky Ticket's coming off. So why is it that Liverpool get told to go towards the nearest exit point, but other players are able to roam around and stuff? This effing referee, honestly. Don't rush the guy. He's got cramp. He can't walk. Shut up, idiot. Why is Kane shocked about that red card? It's not for you to react, my friend. You're a Liverpool player. Why you let Chase Richardson play like he's some fucking prime player or something? The guy's absolute shit. Keep on side. You're offside, kid. Come on, use your brain. You're offside there. Look at the last man. Oh my God. Carried away by Alisson. Good cross there from Ozwrld from Spurs. Liverpool. Why did they give him a yellow? Should give him a red card a long time ago. This stupid idiot. Look at this pigeon. And then the comment says, I would have been embarrassing for this entire squad Ozzie if we let 3 points slip from now. Man, look, I'll be honest with you. I know we got the 3 points here, but I'm peed off. Mainly down to Richarlison, I'm not gonna lie. But we were poor in the last 15, 20 minutes. I say 15, 20 because we end up having 9 minutes of stoppage time as well. We were really bad. No shots on target. Like we didn't attack the goal whatsoever. 2-0 up, and we just seem to get complacent. Why is that the safety blanket for us? The safety blanket needs to be a 3-0 lead. This referee, absolute diabolical refereeing from this idiot. Richarlison got away with murder, strangled Ekatike on the ground when he scored that goal. Then he elbowed Frimpong, and then he fouled Canate moments later as well. I'm not gonna lie, that guy proper pisses me off. But from a Liverpool point of view, we wasn't good today. I know we got the win. Yes, I should be happy we got the 3 points. But I don't like scraping through these kind of games. 2-0 up. Yes, it helped on our side in terms of being a man down at the time. But come on. When you've got an extra man, your eyes need to light up. You've got to go all guns blazing, whether as a player or as a coach. We were so lackluster in the second half. That was frustrating. I'm not gonna lie. Yes, we got the 3 points. I'm happy. If I'm looking at the table right now, we've just moved up to fifth in the league. So we're behind Chelsea or equal points with Chelsea now. 29 points. I'll be honest with you guys, I don't know the scores from earlier on today. So let me have a quick look at the scores and see what happened. So Newcastle drew with Chelsea. So that's a great result for us in that regards. Uh Man City won 3-0 against West Ham. 2-0 Brentford, that's a great result for them. 1-1 between Bournemouth and Burnley. So yeah, so Sunderland, they drew 0-0. So that's a great result for us. Now we just have to wait for United to draw or lose. I think they'll. I don't see them winning that game personally. Um, but yeah, we're fifth now, yes looks good on paper. You know, we're climbing up the table, but I'm not impressed with our performances. I'm not impressed with how we manage games. How are we 2-0 up and then struggling to just beat teams? They could be easy if made it 2-2. Easy if made it 2-2. Alisson saved us in the end, let's be honest. So yeah, mixed emotions for me. Of course, I'm happy that we got 3 points, but I'm disappointed about the performance, and I'm disappointed how they allowed the idiot like Richarlison to get hold of them. Like, there's no way that you guys can't have that aggression in you when you're playing the professional game. Yes, I might sound like a hothead, but the thing is, when someone mugs you off on the pitch, you've got to retaliate. You've got to show them what's what. And they didn't do that today. Too nice. I don't like my team to be too nice. I need someone to be aggressive. I need someone to be play dirty. I want someone to play dirty. Simple as that. You look at all the champions, everyone has that type of player in the team. Look at your Uniteds. They had Roy Keane that would do that. Arsenal would have Vieira, players like that would do that. For us, we have Fabinho. Fabinho was great at doing stuff like that. And just did it under the radar and not get booked. So he was a bit of a master at that. But we're too nicey in this team. I need someone to give a cheeky elbow to someone during a set piece where the referee can't see it. Got to show, they're in for a battle today. But hey, that's probably another discussion for another day. You think I'm a Tottenham fan the way I'm rattled right now. but I'm peed off. I don't like the way that game ended. We shouldn't have to feel on the ropes every time. We're 2-0 up. We're 2-0 up, but we're on the ropes. How does that make sense? 9 men down. How does that make sense? Not happy with the performance today. Absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion. Ozzie, I'm heated. It's probably down to Richarlison, if I'm being honest with you. I despise that guy a lot. Every time I see him play against Liverpool, he always does these kind of dickhead moments, and no one does nothing to him. He got away with murder. He should have been sent off a long time ago for me. 5th on the table, yeah. Looks good on paper, but in reality, I'm not happy with the way we've been performing. This game, as an example, but even in the last 5, 6, 7 games, we've been riding our luck. The reason I'm saying we've been riding our luck is because we've won games where it's been on our favor, whether it's a mistake from the opponent or we've capitalized from a set piece or whatever. We don't dominate. We don't dominate games anymore. We're not a dominant team, and that's what really annoys me. We're Liverpool Football Club. We are the Premier League champions, and we don't know how to dominate. That doesn't make sense to me. We have to switch it up, and I feel like the way we're playing is probably the identity of this coach. But we don't have that street kind of element about us. We're not streetwise. We're not aggressive. We're just too nicey all the time. Too open for my likings. So obviously that moment with Richarlison, when he tried to choke Ekitike, I'm feeling on edge. So I'm sure the players will be feeling on edge as well. All I'm saying, very true, Ozzy. Our leaders are too nice. You need mean captains to set the tone. It doesn't even have to be captains, if I'm honest with you, Ozan. It just needs to be as a collective. Fabinho wasn't our captain, but he showed what's what to certain players. And this is why, look, I'm not pinpointing my frustration on one player, but I don't like the way McAllister's being utilised in this team. He's ineffective, and I'd rather have someone in my midfield that would, embody the way I want a player to be in the defensive midfield position, i.e., be a powerhouse, be disruptive. Too nicey. I don't really like players like that, to be fair. But we can have that discussion in more detail later on today. We'll have a match reaction show at 11 p.m. Tonight. So feel free to come on. Let's see if I'm still rattled as I am right now. I'll probably calm down by then, but that's really, really agitated me, if I'm being honest with you. But that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for today. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Ozan. As always, thank you for your comments and thank you for your support as always. Shout out to Graham as well. But yeah, appreciate you guys getting involved. And shout out to Bowl as well. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Bowl, did I read out your comment? No, I didn't. But my god, this man is so shit and effing lucky all the time. I was like, yeah, I hear you. I'm more frustrated in terms of how the team performed at the end. The last 15, 20, 25 minutes, passengers, absolute passengers. Like, we have no idea how to manage a 2-0. You'd think we're an inexperienced team. We're not. Just because we've got new players doesn't mean we're inexperienced. And this comes from the coach. This is something that I know with Jurgen Klopp, he had to learn on the job as well, because there were times where we were far too open or far too expansive during the last 10 minutes. But as he evolved as a coach, that was something that was implemented quite heavily, where if we were 2-0 up or 1-0 up, manage the game correctly, i.e., keep hold of the ball, keep possession of the ball. But we don't do that. So frustrating to talk about. But we'll talk about it in more detail later on in tonight's show. But that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, stay safe, and I hope to see you guys later on tonight at 11 p.m. for the match reaction. Goodbye.